Hello, managers and supervisors of Old Gringo Chili Company. We are at this meeting today to discuss the expansion of your products into Mexico. In order to effectively advertise these products to the new intended audience in Mexico, our team has analyzed multiple pieces of evidence that have allowed us to make some suggestions for the recreation of your website. Spices are a huge part in New Mexican and Mexican dishes. Although the two cultures are very closely related, it is important that we understand the differences in their needs and values. Based off these differences in needs and values, we wanted to do some research on the spicy foods in Mexico. We wanted to know, why do the people of Mexico love spicy foods more than most countries? This research question allowed us to determine the importance of spicy food for this intended audience. This report will cover the data our team observed and found on this specific subject and our recommendations of what changes need to be made to the Old Gringo Chili Company website depending on this data. For Phase 1, we set certain boundaries for our research in which we focused on foods native to Mexico and only got the perspectives from the Mexican audience. For Phase 2, we gathered information from empirical, electronic, and print sources. For Phase 3, we analyzed the data of our research and determined what adjustments would need to be made to the Old Gringo Chili Company website to meet the needs of its new audience. Before researching why the people of Mexico love spicy foods more than most countries, we first had to analyze their needs and values from the people in New Mexico. We created a diagnostic memo in which we first analyzed the way Old Gringo Chili Company products were being advertised to its audience. Then we created a rhetorical analysis in which we determined how and why certain visuals provided in two different chili product advertisements were influential. Then we did a compare and contrast between the Old Gringo Chili Company website and its competitor, the La Victoria website. Through these different examinations, we were able to determine that while the New Mexican audience values authenticity and hard work, the Mexican audience values modernism and success. Once we determined the differences in needs and values between the two audiences, we were able to focus more on the importance of spicy food in Mexican culture. We handed out surveys to 3 foreign exchange students that were from Mexico. The questions we asked them were formatted as seen in Figure 1. Next, we interviewed 3 other foreign exchange students as formatted in Figure 2. Based off these interview questions, we were able to determine that the most common Mexican dish was enchiladas, as seen in Figure 3, and all 3 of the participants preferred red chili, as seen in Figure 4. When looking at electronic sources, we determined that the people of Mexico love spicy foods so much because the spices in the food rid the digestive system of parasites or bacteria. We also discovered that the cultivation of chilies in Mexico had dated back to pre-Hispanic times, which would explain its importance due to background. Then we discovered that an ingredient called capsaicin has caused the people of Mexico to become less susceptible to the hotness of spice. When looking at print sources, we determined that chili is popular because it keeps other crops from spoiling. We also determined that Mexico has more spicy foods because the indigenous people continued to grow chili crops to diversify the land and earn a profit. We also found the people of Mexico love their food spicy because the heat in the food actually allows their bodies to sweat and cool down. We have concluded that the people of Mexico love spicy foods more than most countries due to the climate they are in and the landscape. Since this audience lives in a very hot climate, they enjoy eating foods that cool them down while giving them a burst of flavor. The people of Mexico also continued to grow these foods at large quantities because the chili crops keep their fields from going rotten. Due to the large quantities being produced, the people of Mexico have also been subjected to eating the spicy foods often and therefore eat these foods more than most places. With these results, we think the recreated website would have to become more appealing by becoming more modern. The website would also have to include more graphics to make the products more appealing and have better navigation so the intended audience could find things better. Since our research question also determined that the people of Mexico want to continue to diversify their land and earn profits, the new website would also have to include a greater success story in order to motivate customers and make them feel more connected to the product. If all goes well, the recreation of the Old Gringo Chili Company website should be completed by the summer of 2018. Once the recreation of the website is completed, new customers should be able to find products much easier and feel more connected to the business. We thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, please contact us through our UNM emails.